Hello, this is Dead Hamster. Today we're going to do the first Odeon video here, so we'll be working on a brand new custom course. And these will be made entirely off-stream and only available through the subscription through Odeon or the City 64 network, preferably. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at what we're working on here. This is something I had drawn up over several stages. It started off on a few separate pieces of paper, actually. There was a divide right here. This part was a separate sheet. This was a separate sheet that I then combined into this. We're going to be putting a copy of this underneath us as we're working in Max, but this isn't to scale. It's not perfect. It's not intended to be an exact representation. It's just a rough idea of where we want the design elements to go, and we're going to be working off of that to build everything out. So yeah, that's probably best to start like this. That way we don't have to make as many... We're trying to keep it aligned again to the y-axis for the start of the race. So coming up to the starting line, we'll want a starting line itself, some type of different texture, so that we're able to tell the difference when we're actually approaching that point. We do have to make a very sharp curve, like in this area is rather sharp going into this, especially in this area is rather sharp coming around here. We're going to do so with a series of smaller segments. We're not going to draw out one large turn. I want the perpendicular value or face or whatever you want to call that, whatever would come perpendicular to this, to point towards where our player is intended to go next, because that's the most natural progression to get a smooth road. So we're going to go straight across because this is a bridge, but then we're going to subdivide it. What I'm doing this for is to just give me good geometry to work with for not only building the bridge out later if I want to have any sway to it or anything like that, but for mostly texturing. You can only have 16 tiles of a texture across the face before it shorts out for the way that the data is stored in the memory. So you have to subdivide the geometry at least a little bit to allow the textures to tile across it properly. Went wrong there. Have to make sure along the way too. I should probably check now. Yeah, that everything is flat. We don't want to accidentally rotate the edges, and that'll completely screw up all the geometry that we try to build off of it later. Eventually we'll deal with slopes, but we don't want to tilt them. This part too, very interesting. Real good S-curve coming through. Coming up on an interesting spot where we're going to do a jump, a boost ramp across a large gap. So we're going to have a gap between our faces coming up where we'll just do a clone. Landing's interesting because you can see how quickly it goes left. So I almost think this area should just be rather large. We'll kind of come out of it like this. So something like that, a nice big landing pad to fall onto from that boost ramp, and then the road will come off of that. Definitely want height, you don't want a flat level. Flat levels are very boring. Does not matter how many turns you have, you need to have elements in that third dimension. Otherwise your level could just as easily be on the Super Nintendo. Just like that, we have our road. Following the designs we started with, a little bit off, right? But you look at it from here, you can clearly see it. Pretty one-to-one, actually. Now, the rest of it will not be. The cliffs, the grass, the little water, everything else, we'll do our best to keep it to the design, but we're not going to be able to keep it perfect to that because it is going to be in 3D. We're going to have to make it realistic and look proper in perspective and everything. And then we're also going to have the cliffs and everything. The cliffs, you don't want that close to the road. Well, maybe you do, but you want a little bit of a gap. You want to make sure the player can, make a mistake. So yeah, we'll take a look and start building that out. And yeah, first thing though will again be the verticality, and that'll all be in the next video.